Laura, Director of the Croatian Mine Action Center, Mr. Gordan Pešić, Chairman of the Management Board Docking Croatia, and Mr. Marko Ćosić, President of the Management Board Đuro Đaković Group from Croatia. Thank you for joining us and welcome once again. Gentlemen, let us begin with lessons from the field. Question to Mr. Tuch. Cambodia has one of the world's longest experiences in mine action. What are the most important lessons learned from Cambodia's journey, and what can the international community learn from this experience?
Thank you, Mila, for your questions. First, on behalf of the Cambodian delegation, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to the people and the Republic of Croatia for their hospitality, extending to all of us during our stay here in this beautiful city of Dubrovnik. Thank you very much indeed. Well, let me start by saying that the subject actually, we give where the subject is actually lives, not in a policy paper, but in the ground. I come from a country where, for a generation, a single footstep could be a death sentence. Where a farmer knew which field fed his family and which one could kill it. Cambodia inherited the minds of other people's war, the Cold War. For on more than 3 decades, we address these issues. We have removed them by hand, one by one. So when we hear the title of our panel, Food Security and Geopolitics, I do not see 2 separate issues. I see one. A contaminated land grows no food. A mine road carries no trade. Land a state cannot make safe. Its land, it cannot fully govern. So mines are how a war that has ended keeps shaping the future. So let me say it plainly, my action is not charity. It is the foundation on which recovery, development, and lasting peace are built. Cambodia has earned the right to make that issue, that case. Since 1992, we had cleared over 4,300 square kilometers, reducing casualties from 4,000 a year to less than 100 now. And over 4.4 million of landmines and runners of war have been found and destroyed over the past 30 years. So the future matters most for today. More than 65% of the land we have cleared are now farmed. There is food security, lifted out of the ground by hand. Let me say, Cambodia experience has also stayed, not only stayed within Cambodia. Cambodian deminers has served under the UN peacekeeping across 3 continents. So we send our young men and women to help secure peace and security, but also demining work in other countries like Ukraine. We train Ukrainian deminers as well. So that is also the multipolarity worth defending. Not nations competing in suffering, but countries sharing solutions. Let me say on the last point, Cambodia clear mines. We do not lay them. We have never led a new anti-personnel mine, but we never also will. That is not, it's not a simple policy, but it's who we are and the future we choose. Let me close on this question. Croatia know well this journey, fully cleared over the past 3 decades. So I'd like to congratulate Croatia for this wonderful achievement. Now helping others as well to do the same. The real question before us is whether the world will treat mine action as the strategic priority it has become, or keep funding it last while expecting peace first.
Thank you, Mr. Laura. Croatia is recognized as a successful example of systematic mine action. What were the key elements that enabled Croatia to achieve such progress?
Hvala.
Yeah, you can speak Croatian. We have translation, yes.
Hvala naravno na pitanju. Lijep pozdrav svima. Evo, nakon 30 godina zaista mukotrpnog i odgovornog rada ostvarili smo naš strateški cilj. Dakle, od 1.3. ove godine proglasili smo Republiku Hrvatskom zemljom bez mina, odnosno zemljom bez minske opasnosti. Za nas naravno to nije samo tehničko pitanje, to je trenutak koji označava pobjedu naše države nad najsmrtonosnijim nasljeđem rata, a to je opet iz druge strane i naša bila moralna obveza prema svim stanovnicima koji su čitavo ovo vrijeme živjeli i radili uz minsku opasnost, svim žrtvama mina, civilima, a naravno i pirotehničarima kojima posebno zahvalnost ovdje izražavam i koji su utkali svoje živote u ostvarenje ovog strateškog cilja, to je da Hrvatska bude sigurnija zemlja, odnosno da Hrvatska bude bez minske opasnosti. Kao što je svima poznato, Republika Hrvatska je odmah po završetku rata i ratnih operacija suočila se, kao naravno i sve druge zemlje pogođenom ratom, sa problemom mina i eksplozivnih ostataka rata kao jednom od najtežih i najsmrtonosnijih posljedica i na taj način svrstali smo se u red zemalja koje su bile izložene izuzetno velikoj prostornoj kontaminaciji i jednom višedimenzionalnog riziku od svih vrsta eksplozivnih prijetnji. Vrlo često se govori samo o minskoj opasnosti, međutim nije to bila samo minska opasnost, dakle prijetile su i drugi rizici, tu prije svega mislimo na neeksplodirana ubojna sredstva, na zabranjeno kazetno streljivo, improvizirana ubojna sredstva, mine iznenađenja itd. itd. Dakle, ono što sama činjenica da je 13.000 kilometara kvadratnih u Republici Hrvatskoj, što je praktički 24% ukupnog kopnenog teritorija, bilo procijenjeno i da je potencijalno zagađeno i da je unutar tog prostora postavljeno negdje oko 1 milijun protupješačkih i protuoklopnih mina, govori samo za sebe. Da, isto kao i kod Kambodže, izazovi su bili brojni, bili su naravno kompleksni i dodatan problem bila je činjenica što mi tada kad smo kretali u tu cijelu priču, to naše putovanje od 1996. godine, pa na ovamo je što je tada i protuminsko djelovanje na globalnoj razini bilo u samim povojima, odnosno bilo je u samim počecima, tako da se mi nismo mogli osloniti na međunarodno iskustvo, na provjerene prakse, na izgrađene međunarodne standarde i procedure protuminskog djelovanja, već jednostavno smo bili oslonjeni sami na sebe, na temelju naših vlastitih iskustava, a nažalost i iz grešaka koje smo činili, a znate da je najskuplje kad učite iz vlastitih grešaka. Ja uvijek kažem da one države koje na nesreću imaju problem mina, danas je puno lakše krenuti nego što je bilo, ne samo metodološki i standardi i to sve skupa, već i naravno tehnologija je otišla puno naprijed, tako da je proces se može promatrati i realizirati puno brže nego što smo mi tada to mogli. Ono što je ključno kada govorimo inače o elementima, ali prije nego što ću to reći, je da je Vlada Republike Hrvatske od samog početka prepoznala minski problem i problem eksplozivnih ostataka rata ne samo kao humanitarno sigurnosti, već i kao socioekonomski, odnosno ekološki problem i krenula je odmah u njegovo žurno rješavanje. Svoju odlučnost praktički iskazala je kroz sve segmente protuminskog djelovanja i ono što je posebno bitno, uspostavljajući jedan snažan nacionalni national ownership, odnosno nacionalno vlasništvo nad problemom mina i praktički time u potpunosti preuzela odgovornost za rješavanje tog problema. Dakle, taj politička odluka i prihvaćanje da je to zaista strateški problem je vrlo važan za svaku državu koja želi riješiti efikasno svoj problem. Sad, koji su to ključni bili elementi u tom procesu? Prvi, to je da je bila u potpunosti uspostavljena cjelovita arhitektura protuminskog djelovanja, što je vrlo važno, a s druge strane i u sklopu toga izgrađen jedan moderan, fleksibilan i efikasan sustav protuminskog djelovanja koji je u potpunosti bio prilagođen našoj prirodi problema, našem opsegu problema, mogućnostima, naravno specifičnostima i potrebama. Naš sustav je, to već naravno i svi znaju, kao i kambodžanski sustav protuminskog djelovanja, jedan od najcjenjenijih sustava u svijetu i ne samo što je najcjenjeniji, nego se smatra jedan od najefikasnijih sustava u svijetu. Mi smo taj svoj sustav kontinuirano razvijali jer praktički smo počeli od same nule i on se razvijao kroz svo ovih 30 godina u svim segmentima, na svim razinama i zaista kad kažem da je kod nas su promjene bila jedina konstanta, onda je to zaista tako i od samih početaka naš osnovni moto je bio inovirati, a ne imitirati, jer smo smatrali da izlazeći iz komfortne zone imitacija, odnosno kopiranja i tako dalje, nećemo doći do ubrzanja samog sustava, već moramo razvijati vlastita inovativna rješenja. Drugo što je bitno i što je vrlo važno za svaki sustav protuminskog djelovanja, a to je da je cjelokupan proces protuminskog djelovanja u Republici Hrvatskoj bio u cijelosti zakonodavno i normativno uređen. To znači da smo donijeli i Zakon o protuminskom djelovanju, da su donešene naravno i više nacionalnih strategija protuminskog djelovanja, izrađeni su nacionalni standardi, standardne operativne procedure, dakle svi segmenti, svi elementi su u potpunosti normativno i zakonodavno uređeni. Vrlo bitan trenutak i jedan svakako od prekretnica protuminskog djelovanja u Republici Hrvatskoj je bilo osnivanje Hrvatskog centra za razminiranje odlukom Vlade 1998. godine, gdje je Hrvatski centar za razminiranje postao krovna institucija Vlade Republike Hrvatske za provođenje i planiranja, organizacije, provedbe i upravljanja kontrolom kvalitetom nad protuminskim djelovanjem, što je naravno vrlo bitno. Paralelno sa osnivanjem Hrvatskog centra za razminiranje, godinu možda dvije nakon toga, osnovali smo i Centar za testiranje, razvoj i obuku, koji osim što je omogućio da se u Republici Hrvatskoj provodi kvalitetna obuka naših ljudi, omogućilo je naravno i testiranje i ocjenjivanje opreme i strojeva, opreme koja se koristi i tehnologije u Republici Hrvatskoj, ali ono što je vrlo važno, to je omogućilo je razvijanje vlastitih inovativnih rješenja i njihovu implementaciju na samom terenu, što je dovelo značajno do i povećanja sigurnosti rada i do ubrzanja cjelokupnog procesa. Još jedan naravno vrlo bitan element, to je paralelno naravno sa osnivanjem Hrvatskog centra za razminiranje, mi smo se odlučili na uvođenje tržišnog modela razminiranja, odnosno uključivanjem privatnih tvrtki u razminiranje i to je bila jedna, mogu reći sigurno i ulaskom naravno privatnog kapitala, jedna prekretnica u smislu snažnijeg i bržeg razvoja nacionalnih kapaciteta, a ne samo to, već i korištenje najsuvremenije opreme i tehnologije u humanitarnom razminiranju, čime je povećana sigurnost rada i ubrzan proces razminiranja. Vrlo bitna uloga vlade Republike Hrvatske bila je snažna mobilizacija, odnosno osiguranje stalnih i stabilnih izvora financiranja, koji su naravno preduvjet za učinkovitu provedbu protuminskog djelovanja, odnosno koji omogućuje visok stupanj otpornosti i održivosti sustava protuminskog djelovanja. Ja mogu stvarno reći sa posebnim zadovoljstvom da ovih 30 godina nikada nije došlo u pitanje da je bilo zbog bilo kakvih razloga, ekonomskih kriza, recesija, sve onog što je bilo, da je došlo do bilo kakvog prekida aktivnosti protuminskog djelovanja. Izvori su bili, naravno, financiranje u Republici Hrvatskoj različiti. Državni proračun, naravno, je tu bio na prvom mjestu, nakon toga kroz predpristupne fondove i strukturne investicijske fondove, kroz privlačenje fondova Europske unije, što je također vrlo bitan izvor financiranja. Tu su bili, naravno, financiranja od strane različitih donatora, da li država donatora ili privatnih donatora, i naravno i kroz zajmove Svjetske banke. Ono što bi samo ovdje naglasio da je Republika Hrvatska jedna od rijetkih zemalja u svijetu koja je izdvajala značajna financijska sredstva iz državnog proračuna. Ako znamo da je otprilike za razminiranje Republike Hrvatske utrošeno 1,2 milijarde eura, 67 do 68% sredstava je izdvojeno iz vlastitog državnog proračuna, 24 iz sredstava Europske unije, a ovo drugo naravno kroz ove dvije koje sam već ovdje i spomenuo. I naravno, zadnje, to je isto tako ne manje bitno, to je da je Republika Hrvatska provodila sve one svoje obveze preuzete potpisivanjem relevantnih i kontekstualnih konvencija, tu prije svega mislim na Otavsku konvenciju i konvenciju iz Osla i sve naravno druge relevantne koje su bile tiču protuminskog djelovanja. Evo, mislimo da je Hrvatska zaista ovdje možemo govoriti kao Hrvatska kao primjeru jedne uspješne prakse.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Laura. Mr. Pešić, new technologies. How has the nature of the mine threat evolved in recent years, and how are new technologies helping to respond to these challenges?
So I would say that we started in early 90s with the development of the technology that was basically originated from the problems that we had, that was Mr. Laura was just explaining about. We started with the development of the small scale type of demining robots that could play a role in clearing the landmine fields in the Republic of Croatia. And we gradually evolved to the biggest player globally when it comes to the landmine clearance equipment. So the technology for sure is speeding up the process. However, the biggest challenge in the mine action is to evolve the technology together with the threats that we are anticipating in the field. So Mr. Laura was explaining about the threats and how they are evolving from the conventional mines to the improvised explosive devices to the booby traps and things like that. So that is also equally important, that the technology evolves together with those type of the activities. So Docking as a company started in the early 90s with the development of such technologies, but in 2026 now we have like a wide selection of different type of the tools and the methods how we are able to play with those threats. So we are implementing different type of the tools and technologies that are capable of addressing the threats from the conventional mines like anti-personnel, improvised explosive devices, route clearance, pressure plate mines, to drones, and how you are able to classify and to integrate different type of the artificial intelligence recognition of the threats in order to decrease and to reduce the cognitive load from the operator in order to have the efficient and more proficient way of dealing with those threats. So I would say that the technology matters in the most comprehensive and systematic way possible, because with the evolvement of the technology you are speeding up the process and you are evolving together with the methodology how you are able and enable the operators to speed up the process and to cut the costs, which are the biggest destroyer of the momentum in minefield or mine action, I would say.
Absolutely. Mr. Ćosić, how important is a strong industrial base in developing sustainable capacities for demining and post-conflict recovery?
I would say that the industrial base is definitely essential. So maybe we can see it also, for example, of Croatia. And if we see, for example, our company, Geopolitics, it is a company with a long-lasting tradition in industrial fields and very strong know-how. So during the wartime, for example, from 1991 to 1995, Geopolitics was producing lots of military equipment, weapons, and of course main battle tank M84, which was used for Croatian army during the wartime and is in service also now. So it's a good example how one company with a strong industrial base can serve the needs of the country during the wartime, and also it's very important what will come after that wartime. So the importance which I want to say it now is also the possibility to convert all this knowledge in technology, in machinery, engineering, to produce something which will be in the second phase also needed for developing on the countries. So to clearing the mines and all activities what Mr. Tuch said that it's important to bring the people again to the lands, to the fields, open the roads for trades and other activities. So Đuro Đaković produced its first demining machine in 2003. And these machines have been used in Croatian demining activities throughout this period until the final mine is cleared from Croatia. So I would say that without this strong industrial base, it's impossible even to bring people back home. Because it's not only usually it's seen that the war ended with signing of the agreements and that it started a peace, but the most important is also to bring people back to the job, to bring people back to the land and to open the roads. And that's where it comes to the place flexible industrial capacities which are able to convert very, very easily, and we call it some kind of swing production capacities. So I would also like to mention that, for example, in USA, which is, I would say, the most recognized company in defense area, and of course, a number one country in the world, there is the rule for the companies which are doing this heavy industry, such as our company, to be able to convert in requested number of days from civil production to military production, and sometimes, of course, vice versa, which was the case for our company.
Thank you. Speaking of demining and food security, Mr. Tuch, in many affected countries, mines are located on agricultural areas. Based on Cambodia's experience, how directly is demining connected to restoring communities and strengthening food security?
Well, the connection is immediate and direct. Cambodia is today one of the world rice export. Yet only 2 generations ago, many of those same fields were contaminated and now open for farming. So I think when our farmers receive a cleared land, they can produce, they can grow crops, they earn, their income has become more. In that sense, they are able to contribute to our society. So the connection is immediate and direct.
Mr. Laura, Croatia has returned significant areas of land, including agricultural areas, to safe use. What wider social and economic benefits did this process create?
Da, ono što sam i prije rekao, da je problem mina eksplozivnih ostataka rata nije samo sigurnosno, odnosno humanitarno pitanje, već i socioekonomsko i ekološko pitanje. Stoga, naravno, humanitarno razminiranje predstavlja jedan od temelja, odnosno osnovni preduvjet za sve postkonfliktne tranzicijske faze koje neko društvo, odnosno država koja je bila pogođena ratom i problema mina prolazi. Dakle, to je osnovni preduvjet za fazu i stabilizacije, obnove i oporavka, revitalizacija, a naravno i one isto tako važne, a to je ta takozvana razvojna faza. Tako je naravno i naš sustav, odnosno program protuminskog djelovanja, osim samog uklanjanja mina eksplozivnih ostataka rata, omogućio čitavu lepezu socioekonomskih benefita, odnosno koristi. Ja ću se tu osvrnuti na nekoliko onih koji smatramo da su ključne. Ali prva, to je ona i osnovna, to je povratak stanovništva i revitalizacija tog područja i zajednica koji su bili prethodno pogođeni problemom mina i eksplozivnih ostataka rata. Naravno, ponovno korištenje zemljišta, što je omogućilo povećanje gospodarske aktivnosti te održiv i ravnomjeran gospodarski rast, vrlo bitno. I recimo kad govorimo o tom korištenju zemljišta, tu su posebno značajni benefiti ostvareni u sektorima poljoprivrede, u sektorima šumarstva, u turizmu, prometnoj infrastrukturi, energetici i zaštiti okoliša. Naravno, benefit nakon humanitarnog razminiranja je samo povećanje cijene, odnosno vrijednosti zemljišta, odnosno nekretnina, jer poznato je da minirana, odnosno minski sumnjiva područja imaju ograničenu ili gotovo nikakvu tržišnu vrijednost. Daljnji benefiti sigurno vezani su i za privlačenje investicija, odnosno ulaganje u nove i razvojne projekte, što opet za posljedicu ima i otvaranje novih radnih mjesta, dakle smanjenje nezaposlenosti, i ono što isto tako ljudi vrlo često zanemaruju, a to je smanjenje troškova zdravstvenog i socijalnog sustava. Naravno, smanjuje se, odnosno nemate više minskih žrtava i na taj način je to. Naravno, čitav niz je benefita što se tiče i zaštite okoliša i očuvanja bioraznolikosti, a posebno na područjima nacionalnih parkova prirode, odnosno zaštićenih i Natura 2000 područja. Međutim, ja bih se samo malo šire osvrnuo na te socioekonomske benefite humanitarnog razminiranja. Na početku to naravno se, bar kad smo mi počinjali, humanitarno razminiranje uglavnom razmatralo kao trošak. Međutim, danas međunarodna praksa humanitarno razminiranje ne promatra kao trošak, već i kao razvojnu investiciju. I mnoge analize koje su provedene pokazuju da je korist razminiranja višestruko nadmašuje početna ulaganja, odnosno same troškove razminiranja, a osobito ako su te procjene uključeni i ti dugoročni društveno-gospodarski učinci. Kada govorimo o tim omjerima, otprilike tu smo negdje i mi u Hrvatskoj, omjer koristi i troškova je negdje 2:1, pa čak negdje i 10:1 i više naravno u korist toga, pogotovo naravno to ovisno je o tome, o vrsti zemljišta i naravno njegovoj budućoj namjeni. Međutim, to je ono što isto tako napomenuo i vrlo važno je da se humanitarno razminiranje opet ne može ocjenjivati samo kroz financijski povrat, jer za razliku od ovih komercijalnih investicija, dio koristi koje se dobijaju razminiranjem ne mogu se uopće iskazati novcem, znači oni su apsolutno neprocjenjivi, a to je naravno, to su spašeni ljudski životi, spriječene ozljede, osjećaj sigurnosti stanovništva i društvena stabilnost. Zato smo mi u Republici Hrvatskoj humanitarno razminiranje integrirali u sve naše razvojne strategije, programe i planove i na neki način možemo reći da je humanitarno razminiranje postalo sastavni dio ukupne razvojne politike Republike Hrvatske i tu je humanitarno razminiranje dobilo onu još jednu dimenziju više.
Mr. Pešić, to what extent can technology accelerate the return of contaminated land to communities and contribute to food security?
First of all, I would like to say to Mr. Laura that he left me without any arguments to say about anything related to the technology. But I would say, from the perspective, and I will tell this more from the reference point of view. So, Docking was participating in non-conflict and post-conflict environments from early 90s up until now. So basically, we have cleared just in the Republic of Croatia, 53% of the land with our own systems, and basically that was the place where we baked our, let's say, trade. So that puts us in a unique position where we are, where we prominently worked on the reliability of our own systems, and we learned throughout the way how we are able to work in the different type of environments. And after that, we actively participated in Iraq and Afghanistan during those operations. These were more military operations. Then after that, we are having the Azerbaijan, then Saudi Arabia, and now in Ukraine. So all these conflicts and the post-conflict environments learn us how to enhance our technology and how we are able to be more efficient. So from the perspective of the conventional mines in Croatia to Ukraine, where you have like kamikaze drones together with the shelling objects, unexploded ordnance, conventional mines, improvised explosive devices, you have a wide selection of different type of the threats that you need to take care of. So you are not able to be a new player in this field and just to say, okay, this is a technology that I would like to place in the market. You need to develop the entire ecosystem of the capabilities and the capacities in order to provide necessary support. So just from the reference point of view, again, the entire Sri Lanka was demined with our own technology. So just imagine the contribution that we put to the economic recovery of such countries, the countless lives saved, and the way how we provided the safety and security for the operators that were before doing this manually. So basically that is the biggest enhancer of the operational capability of today's mine action work. So I would say that this is like my way how to navigate the arguments besides that one.
Absolutely. Mr. Josic, how can industry contribute to building long-term clearing capacities on the mining capacities, especially in countries facing large-scale contaminations?
As it is mentioned, so to clear the mine, especially these mines which are different kind of the mines and lots of the area which is contaminated, you need definitely industrial support. So I would say that manual presence and activities of these people is always essential. But you need to build, of course, equipment for them in order to clear faster and bigger area of the land. So this kind of industry is definitely very well needed. And we need to be frank and we need to say that usually the last mine is cleared in the country when this kind of international support is redirected somewhere else. So local industry is definitely needed because the mine clearing process is lasting for years and even for decades, which was the case in both Croatia and Cambodia. So you need to create the long-lasting life cycle support for all this equipment. I would also say that donations are also important, but donations in the way that you buy or any country which is affected with the mines only buys equipment, it's not enough, because through this process, these machines needs to have whole life cycle support. So it means improvement, learning from the field. Of course, there is different terrains always in different countries, so it needs to be able to support local industrial adaptability and, of course, spare parts for all these processes. So without the industry, of course, local industry, I would say it will be very difficult or even impossible to clear it.
When we talk about the geopolitics and lasting peace, Mr. Tuch, should the international community treat demining not only as a humanitarian activity, but as a strategic investment in peace, stability, and development?
Yes, without question. I think investment in mine action is very, very important. We cannot talk about, in commercial terms, when you invest in saving lives, in reducing casualties, reducing poverty, extreme poverty, and of course, building hope and dignity for people. people. Yes, I think Cambodia is blessed in having support from our friendly countries, from Europe, from the United States, from China, from Japan, Australia, and many others. Other nations has been contributing to saving lives and reducing poverty in our country, of course. Yeah. So I think it's important that for our My Action community to look for long term, and because mine clearance, my actions last long when the war stops, but the mining is continue. So we have to look for long term to address to plan and to address the mine clearance through financial contribution. Contrary to Ukraine, the Cambodian government has a small budget, and we rely mostly on support from our friendly countries, private sector, and philanthropists over the years. So over the past 30 years, we have provided theft land to over 10 million people out of 17 million in Cambodia. In Cambodia, some areas we had to clear mine first before we can build a school for our young children, our kids. We had to clear mines before we could build a house or canals and so on. So it is worth to invest in mine clearance, and of course we speak about technology. Technology play a very important role in mine action because it saves life. I told you earlier that Cambodia has over the past 30 years has lost about over 200 miners. In the 80s and 90s, mostly by hand, cleared mines, and then technology has stepped in to help us to save life, but also to gain less time spending on the mining for the same size of contamination, but also save money because it's faster. So does Cambodia produce equipment? No, we import 100% from outside, from United States, Europe, Germany, from Japan, from China, from Australia sometimes. But now we have heard about high quality equipment from Ukraine. And we have learned also that the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, His Excellency Ratman, will visit Cambodia. Along with the delegation will be also include some of the leaders of some companies that manufacture My Action equipment. So we Cambodia look forward to welcome the delegation and see how our operators working on the ground will look at how we can get technology from Ukraine to address our case.
Mr. Laura, Ukraine is facing one of the largest demining challenges in modern history. What lessons from Croatia's experience could be valuable for Ukraine and other affected countries?
Pa sve ono što sam rekao i što sam kad sam odgovorio na prvo pitanje, što je naravno sve potrebno napraviti da bi jedan sustav bio tako uspješan, odnosno da bi bio efikasan. Evo, to sam već naveo, tako da ne bi se tu... Međutim, ono što je ključan problem, to je da je trenutna geopolitička situacija takva da imamo sve više i više konflikata, i da je pogotovo ovaj koji je naravno rat i agresija Rusije na Ukrajinu takav veliki opseg kontaminacije da zahtijeva zasigurno izdvajanje puno više financijskih sredstava za razminiranje globalno, naravno i nacionalno u okviru nacionalnih država, i ono o čemu se danas posebno vodi računa i pokušava iznaći neka inovativna rješenja financiranja problema. Naravno, danas je najveći fokus na Ukrajini. Pokušavaju se naći najsuvremenija tehnološka rješenja, inovativna rješenja, načine financiranja Ukrajine. Tako da, ali ono što je vrlo bitno, ne bi trebala samo biti fokus, naravno što i nije na Ukrajini, već i na neke druge države i na neki način održavanje i dalje tih programa u tim državama.
Mr. Pesic, you already mentioned artificial intelligence. So, what role will robotics, autonomous systems, artificial intelligence play in the future of humanitarian demining?
I'd say that is my the topic is basically ours. It's fundamentally it will change the way how we are dealing with the threats in general. It's not related to the humanitarian demining or demining per se. It's going to be related to the overall activities that the human society is doing right now. So this will be affected with the way how we are dealing with the threats as well. AI-enabled technologies will definitely play a significant role and fundamental role in increasing the efficiency. But I would like to mention that now it is important, since we are having these geopolitical turmoils and we are having more military presence, basically this technology will be developed more in the military domain than in the civilian. So it's going to be the other way, opposite way of industrialization. So now we are now part of the military ecosystem, and we are developing the technologies that are able to play a significant role on the tactical way of military demining, which will be converted later on in the humanitarian aspect. So yes, we are playing already, not playing, we are working with the autonomous functions, and we are significantly increasing our operational efficiency and effectiveness. However, we need to take into consideration that there is always a need to have the human in the loop, because we are not able, and we need to be heavily regulated with the AI. So always we need to have the man in the loop in order to have the decision-making process controlled and enabled by the human, because the machines are not able to make decisions on their own, and they are risky for the environment. So I would say it is necessary. We are going to work with it. However, we need to control it, and we need to have it regulated and standardized.
Mr. Ćosić, can stronger cooperation between governments, industry, international organizations become a model for supporting this post-conflict recovery and resilience?
Definitely yes, and as we can see it, there is a strong will on the international level to have it. So we have lots of this kind of declaration signed, but what Mr. Tux mentioned at the beginning, it's not about the policy. It's, at the end, it's resolving on the field. And if we see also lots of this declaration about rules, what's possible to do in the war, at the end the war is complete chaos, especially with new technology. This kind of demining activities can become more and more difficult, and of course like in the war, you need also to adapt in the post-war activities with the industry and with the clearing. I would say that the most important is from the international government, or it's not government, but international institutions, to focus on the long-lasting process, long-lasting financing, because as mentioned in the beginning, it's not one-off donation. It's a process which needs to last for decades, and it needs to be provided long-last financing. If the last mine is not cleared, the country is not safe. Perception is also very important. So it's not at the end only about the numbers. So we clean 1 million mines. This is just a number. It's from PR perspective sounds really good job. But what does it mean if it's like only a small percentage, and if only one mine is left, it's still the safe of unsecurity. And I would say that the best sentence which was sent by Mr. Laura is that Croatia is clear of the mine. So it's quite straightforward message, and after that there is no any kind of the questions when you will finish it, how safe it is. It's safe. And that's the most important thing. So I would say that either for Ukraine or for any other later on affected country, we need to be focused on the final goal. And the final goal is that the land needs to be clear. Just maybe to mention also Ukraine now, it's heavily affected with mines and different kind of weapons, drones, and all these artificial systems. And at the end, what's the final goal? Maybe Russia doesn't need more territory. They just need maybe area without ethnical people of Ukraine. So if you don't clear it, this land is lost. Without the people, there is no future.
Yes, for the final part of our discussion, I would like to ask each of you one final question about the future of mine action. So, Mr. Tuch, looking back at Cambodia's mine action journey, what achievement are you most proud of, and what do you see as the most important priority for the future of mine action globally?
Thank you. What really makes me proud. Something is very simple. A cleared field looks exactly like any other field. So when our great success is about making the wars disappear, it lets children play without fear. Farmers cultivate with confidence. Communities rebuild ordinary life. That is what lasting peace actually look like. Not only a treaty signed on paper, but a farmer planting rice where a landmine once lay. So looking at that, the priorities is this: mine action must be built into peace building, development, and food security strategies from the very first day of recovery, not treated as an afterthought. So I think my answer is that make long-term predictable investment in mine action is core part of every post-conflict recovery strategy. Peace cannot grow on contaminated ground. If we want lasting peace, development, and food security, we must first make the land safe. And only then can communities rebuild, governments restore confidence, and the next generation inherited hope instead of fear.
Very nicely said. Mr. Laura, beyond removing mines, how important is rebuilding public confidence and restoring a sense of safety among affected communities?
Da, jedno od ključnih, naravno, pitanja s kojih smo se mi u Republici Hrvatskoj čitavih ovih gotovo 30 godina susretali, je li što vam znači da vi kažete da vam je sustav bio učinkovit, da bi bio efikasan, ako stanovništvo ne osjeća sigurnost da ono što ste proglasili razminiranim ili metodama izviđanja, da li na tehničkim isključili i reći izvolite, ovo je za vas sigurno područje. Naravno da je pitanje povjerenja nešto što se gradi dugi niz godina, da je potrebno čitav niz aktivnosti koje smo mi naravno aktivno kroz ove 30 godina poduzimali. Tu prije svega da smo u potpunosti proces prikazali transparentnim, da su svi u cjelokupan proces, počevši od planiranja pa do same implementacije svih aktivnosti protuminskog djelovanja, svi dionici tog procesa bili gotovo potpuno uključeni, naravno do onog stanovništva koje živi na tom području i koji koriste to područje. Ono što smo recimo posebno radili, to je da smo u našim planovima edukacije stanovništva, informiranju stanovništva o opasnostima od mina, eksplozivnih ostataka rata, kao sastavnu komponentu imali i edukaciju o metodama i načinima razminiranja koja se tu provode. Mi smo imali određenih recimo problema, pogotovo kada smo uveli, kada se počelo koristiti animalna detekcija, dakle uporaba pasa za detekcija mina, i tu se kod stanovništva pojavila jedna doza nepovjerenja. Međutim, upravo ovim aktivnostima gdje smo ih educirali o tome koja je to metoda, u kojim kombinacijama, kad se koristi i naravno kada su, što je ono naravno najbitnije, a to je kada onaj koji ima i malo sumnju vidi da ostala područja koja su razminirana ili metodama izviđanja isključena su sigurna, obrađena, da nema minskih incidenata, da nema žrtava. Naravno da je to najbolji primjer i dokaz kako u stvari utjecati na taj osjećaj sigurnosti kod stanovništva. Naravno, tu ide i pitanje ugleda samog Centra za humanitarno razminiranje u svijetu kada vide da je priznat, tako da je stanovništvo i drugačije opet gleda na to. Naravno, za svako područje koje je razminirano ili isključeno se izdaje certifikat, dakle država jasno stoji iza svakog razminiranog isključenog kvadratnog metra. Tako da kažem, to ne ide preko noći i na tome treba svakako puno raditi. Ono što sam možda ostao dužan, možda pitanje što se tiče Ukrajine, Republika Hrvatska sa Ukrajinom ima dugogodišnju suradnju i ona se datira još iz 2008. godine, naravno intenzivirana je od 2022. godine nakon brutalne agresije Rusije na Republiku Hrvatsku i evo kroz ovih 4 godine mi zaista provodimo i imamo suradnju gotovo na dnevnoj bazi. Provodili smo transfer našeg znanja i iskustva i ne samo bilateralno nego i kroz Europsku uniju kao taj formata, evo i na zahtjev ukrajinske strane i naš stručnjak, konkretno to sam ja, je član i savjetodavnog odbora, odnosno potpredsjednik savjetodavnog odbora Centra za humanitarno razminiranje. I naravno Hrvatska će i dalje pružati svu potrebnu pomoć Ukrajini i svojim znanjem i naravno tehnologijom, iskustvom koje je steklo ovih 30 godina, a naravno ne samo Ukrajina, već završetkom svih ovih aktivnosti u Hrvatskoj i proglašenje Hrvatske bez minske opasnosti, naš fokus će biti još intenzivniji prema vani i prema pomoći međunarodnoj zajednici da se globalno problem mina riješi na što brži način.
Mr. Ćosić, how important is reliable domestic production and maintenance capability, and what role can companies like Đuro Đaković play in ensuring operational readiness? As the final question for you.
Okay, thank you. I partially, do you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, now I partially answer on this question. So the persistence and support is very important to the final goal. So I would say that our company is also a good example. So we served during the wartime, supporting Croatian army for defense, and we were also supporting during the civil time or peaceful time. So without industrial base, at the end there is no possibility for the country to defend itself, to clear the mines, and of course at the end there is no jobs for the people to live even in this kind of clear country. So we have different examples in Croatia. So we have area which was affected by the mines, and people of this area actually left the country. So you need to do it also very fast, and you also need to secure the job for these people. So industry is the leading nation's prosperity in different ways, in the wartime, in peaceful time, and throughout history.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Pešić, you already mentioned this balance between human expertise and artificial intelligence, but if you could highlight one action that the international community should take today to make demining a stronger instrument for peace, stability, development, what would it be? Your closure.
Okay, so from the perspective of evolving threats, I would say that the most important aspect in order to deal with them is to have proper, systematic, and comprehensive dialogue between the stakeholders that are responsible for the mine action or whatever threat, and the industry in order to match those capacities together. So threats are evolving, the problems are evolving, so the solutions needs to do the same. So for that particular reason, it is important to have this back and forth discussion and dialogue, how we are able to play together the role in order to resolve our issues, problems in the most effective way possible. So I would say that the docking is the global leader, not because of the, it didn't came from air. So basically we have been working together with the CTRO, with the Croatian Center of Humanitarian, with the Croatian Mine Action Center, sorry, and with the different stakeholders in order to create the standards, in order to test the technologies, in order to work with the end users and getting the feedback on a daily basis in order to push the technologies forward. So my closing remarks on that would be that we don't need only investment in the capacity building, we need to invest in the capability as well. So innovations are able to foster efficiency and foster reliability of such technologies that are able to be used in such environment.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to conclude with one key message from today's discussion. Demining is not only about removing the dangers from the past, it is about creating the conditions for the future. It's directly connected, as we already heard, to human security, food security, economic recovery, and lasting peace. My sincere thanks to our distinguished panelists for sharing their valuable insights, and of course, thank you very much for your attention and participation. Enjoy the rest of your day and goodbye. Thank you.
Zašto?